2026 rebrand.
Rebrand.
5 minutes into a conversation, people will be able to tell that you're an insecure fraud.
Everyone's setting insane rebrand lists for their entire life and crazy New Year's resolutions, excessive goal setting.
Forget rebranding. Just figure out and refine yourself so you can figure out who you are and who you want to be.
Okay, we get it. We're in the new year. Put the glue sticks down and step away from the AI-generated Pinterest images, please. Hey guys, what's up? It's Imurgency and welcome back to my channel. And both on the internet and in real life, I have heard and had many of such conversations of the holidays and the new year not necessarily feeling the same. And actually, hold up. This is not going to be a video on that because I've actually already covered that in a previous video. But what I did want to bring to light, the latest player in the Gen Z discourse game, has to do more specifically with what's been going on for New Year's. And mostly the discourse around New Year's and new beginnings and the concept of a 2026 or just general New Year rebrand. And of course, like most things we talk about on this channel, I fear that some of the conversations around this New Year's rebrand and things like it can actually be quite problematic. And I think the larger part of it is that the content going around about it, which trust and believe we will be getting into, and hey, maybe I'm just behind the curve, but the New Year's content in more recent years has felt more like a ploy to mask consumerism, or at least consumerist habits, all under the guise of self-improvement. It's almost like the wellness and improvement industry has found the perfect holiday to cling on to. And in this video, we're going to explore the reason for the season, or rather, New Year's and the online and IRL discourse surrounding rebrands. And to put it more simply, getting into why you're not rebranding, you're just renewing your yearly vow to capitalism. And to kick off this conversation, we need to talk about the online and IRL sentiment of feeling like the new year is bringing in new beginnings and the general time for a new brand or a rebrand. And before y'all get mad at me, yes, I did go into 2026 making a vision board. And actually, I did go as far as to host my own vision board event with my friends at my house. So please hold your fire. Like, I completely understand why the ball dropping, the clocks turning at midnight into a new year feels like such an opportune time. Get your there. Like, it's nothing new that New Year's resolutions are a thing. I mean, when else will gyms go hard in their marketing and subscription fee deals? I mean, except for Equinox, of course, they don't want you there in January. And I'm not here to be a downer on the effectiveness of resolutions or saying that you should make resolutions in and of themselves, but the way we have grown to think about resolutions or rebranding hasn't always been the most effective. With an article from The Atlantic citing that surveys have found that fewer than 10% of Americans who make resolutions stick to them for a year. By the end of February 2024, according to a survey conducted by the Harris Poll, about half of respondents who set resolutions had already given up on them. And this article goes into paradoxical intent, which is interesting, but not the point of this video. It just seems like in those last days leading up to New Year's, there are a myriad of people seeking to, in somehow, some way, rebrand their entire way of living, which as a general marker of time makes sense, but as we will get into, might not be the best way to frame it and might not even be the best time to do it, if any. But first, let's get into the concept of the rebrand. I feel like there's been a lot of conversation around the rebrand 2026, specifically looking at this tweet. Like, if you somehow managed to stay off of social media completely, first of all, good on you, Diva Pop. A popular trend or phrase that's been going around is the 2026 rebrand. And while commonly rebrands are meant for companies and, well, brands, when they change logos, shift color schemes, maybe a font change or two, but as anyone online may know, the concept of rebranding has been co-opted in a more personal way, with people now using the same language to apply to themselves as a means and a method to completely shift who they may have been to who they want to be, and that is nothing short of interesting. And don't worry, I got you covered, just in case you haven't seen any of these kinds of TikToks.
What about accessories for April?
One thought I had was enamel, bangles, pendants, earrings.
No, we did that 2 years ago. What else?
Well, they're showing a lot of florals right now, so I was thinking I could do a
Florals? For spring.
Which luckily has brought us to this exchange. We'll be adding this to my list of 2026 ends of how to respond to people.
Thought I had was enamel, bangles, pendants, earrings.
No, we did that 2 years ago. What else?
Well, they're showing a lot of florals right now, so I was thinking I could
Florals? For spring. What about accessories for April?
One thought I had was enamel, bangles, pendants, earrings.
No, we did that 2 years ago. What else?
Well, they're showing a lot of florals right now, so I was thinking I could...
Because things really do just have to make sense to me, and I will not be explaining it. But in all seriousness, do not get it twisted. I am all here for personal reflection, intention setting, and manifestations. Like, I am a manifestation king. Like, if you know me, you know that I put everything on the stars. I put everything to my manifestations and everything to my good intentions. You cannot play with me. You will be building that internal world. You hear me? The concept of a rebrand, however, feels like the commodification of these internal processes. And it always sort of comes around the new year. Like, notice how in a lot of rebrand TikToks, they always mention things like you need to buy, or things that you should change about yourself, your place, your habits, the things that you do and things that you like, which are nice to hear, but ultimately mean that you should go and buy something else or spend your money on something else. And we're gonna get into that. But first and foremost, the literal Oxford definition of a rebrand is to change the corporate image of a company or organization. Now, I'm no expert in English. I be stuttering boots throughout these videos. But if my ear and my eye is not failing me, 1/3 of that statement is corporate, company, or organization. As much as your favorite career creator, inspiration creator may tell you, you are not a brand or a corporation, my friends. I mean, some of you actually might be, in which case your people shocked my people. But for the large majority, we are people first. We are not brands. And the whole concept of like everyday people being brands and being these businesses speaks to honestly so much that's going wrong in the world right now in terms of just like us feeling like we need to monetize ourselves and our likeness as opposed to the things that we do. Like, I am such a big advocate of being mindful of the language that we use because one, words mean things, and two, we build normalization through our words. And while corporations are legally people, which again, crazy, you can take that up with the government, you yourself are not a corporation and you yourself are not a brand. And using corporate lingo for yourself should be something that you're mindful of. And I know this is super rich coming from a creator where like every creator is like, oh, I am my brand. Like, my brand is my personality and my likeness. But like, I think there is something intrinsically harmful with monetizing your essence. Because at what point does the branding stop and the personhood begin? As this creator so poetically put it, rebranding is from the top down, evolution is from the inside out.
The concept of a 2026 rebrand is crazy to me. You don't need to rebrand. You're not a company. You're not a product. You're a girl. Oh, you want to evolve? Okay, great. You want to evolve intentionally? Have at it. Make a list. Make some goals, have some resolutions. And before you say that's what a rebrand is, a rebrand is top down. Evolution is inside out. Oh, if you feel like you need to be witnessed and you have to turn your growth into a spectacle, why? You have people for that in your life. And if you don't, that's resolution number 1.
Ultimately, I think people do a large disservice to themselves if they think that they constantly need to change to be more like something else. Because at the crux of it, it feels like you as you are currently are not enough. And maybe that resolution should be more aligned with knowing yourself more and accepting who that is. I mean, unless you're a terrible person, then definitely change because nobody wants that. And maybe, just maybe, if any of the terrible people that we know did some self-reflection and had any thoughts to process to any capacity, maybe they wouldn't be terrible people. Food for thought. Now we talked about the what, let's get into the why. Why do we normalize rebranding as people? And is there any inklings of capitalism behind it? I'm gonna tell you right now, the answer is yes. And more specifically as to the why, y'all are gonna hate when I say it because I'm gonna sound real old and real unky saying it. It be the damn phones. Well, more specifically, the damn social media. Like, of course, there is a long history of New Year's resolutions that can be dated back to the Babylonian era. You know, the good old swords and pitchforks and whatever they had going on in Babylon. But like everything in culture, it evolves with the times. New Year's resolutions becoming New Year's rebrands feels almost 5 a.m. rise and grind. I hate 3 days in one, real alpha male. And while that may be an extreme, we do have to admit that we've normalized flex culture, or at least comparing ourselves to complete strangers who we perceive to have it better. And somehow that has seeped its way into our goals and resolutions for ourselves. Like, truly, when did everyone become brands? And why does everyone have the same resolutions? It feels like the goal is to always be hotter, skinnier, richer, more successful. Like, okay, I know those are all desirable things, but like, what happens when you finally achieve that? Like, mama, isn't there always going to be a hotter, skinnier, and richer behind you that you're gonna then set as the standard to achieve? Like, especially when you have the endless pit that is social media, constantly updating and changing that standard. In a society where we strive to optimize ourselves and we tie our worth to productivity, it makes sense to always be chasing better and more than what currently is. Which brings me back to the original point from before about the holidays. Most holidays were originally about family, connection, and joy at the forefront. I mean, watch any Hallmark or just plain old Christmas movie from the early 2000s. But given the ever increasing consumer first nature of our society, it feels like the holidays are more about buying things or being a improved or optimized person through purchasable or whatever wealthy means. I've been hearing that for the past few years that the holidays don't have the same feeling as before. Like this past holiday season, I did not feel the magic. And while I think that can be attributed to many things, like us all losing our childlike whimsy, the baton getting passed to us as a generation for the holidays and traditions, our ever so vampiric capitalistic society, again, watch the previous video about this. I think at least one contributing factor is because the focus of the holidays holidays has shifted to focus on material objects versus the holiday feeling. I mean, in capitalist societies, love language is gift giving and getting, even if the gift is written to you from you. Like, no shade to my gift giving love language people, but I'd rather just get nothing than make people feel forced into giving me something that I don't really want or need from Amazon just because they deliver fast and they feel obligated to. Like, an intentional gift at any time of the year is better than a placeholder one at like the quote unquote right time. Now pause. I know there are people this doesn't apply to, and I'm sure there are very lovely resolutions, intentions, and aspirations you've set for yourself this year, which I would love to hear all about down in the comments. But for the sake of this video, I'm referring to how resolutions every year look a little more purchase dependent than the last. How instead of intentions or resolutions, we now have rebrands and locking in, things usually referred to in a workspace or in terms of productivity. And that's a whole other conversation on placing your self-worth on your productivity. I am a victim of this as well. We want to talk about resolutions in 2026. Let's decenter that. Let's decenter productivity as a form of self-worth, because we do not need that. We are not put on this earth to be productive. That is a capitalist scheme. Like, it feels like our goals are dependent on our productivity and how much value we can bring to others and show from ourselves. Like, it's the whole thing of like, how valuable can we be versus how much can we grow and enjoy life? And I think it's just like the general blatant self-disregard and self-abandonment that gets me. Like, again, I've done this myself and to myself year after year. And no one's perfect, but we really need to be building ourselves up and focusing on that kind of development rather than focusing on what you think you need and who you think you need to be.
I keep seeing people talk about the 2026 rebrand, and I just want to say I'm noticing a pattern. And yes, the new year is a chance for renewal. It's a breath of fresh air. It's an opportunity. It's a portal. Absolutely. And also, at some point, and this is something that I had to practice for myself, at some point, you have to stop being the first person to abandon yourself. You can't keep throwing it all off the table and building it from scratch. You are not a phoenix, you're a human being. And the foundation that you've built for yourself is not so insignificant that you should be so willing and eager to undermine it and to start over.
Now you may be asking, Rumi, okay, that's nice, but like, how can we go about this in a healthy way? And you know, I'm not saying that I'm the end all be all to how to do New Year's right. Again, I'd love to hear about how y'all go about this in the comments, because I love switching up and adding to my traditions. I did not do the grapes this year and I was not running around, but I would like to share some ways I'm trying to be mindful about my intentions this year. I, being more of a manifestation person, love doing like vision boards and love really visualizing the things that I want to achieve in a year. A good friend of mine recommended a book called Creative Visualization that has been actually and actively changing my life and how I manifest and visualize my goals. So if you're into reading and into like that kind of stuff, you should definitely go check out that book. But I really love to visualize my goals and ambitions. And those can be more concrete things like career milestones, or it can be more abstract like having a community and building more community. But the through line of all the visualization is really reminding myself that I am a human and that I am going to make mistakes and to give myself grace along the way. Acknowledging that I am not a company, I am not a machine that's just meant to be productive. Like, I'm allowed to have off days, I'm allowed to not be productive some days, and I'm allowed to schedule, plan, and take rest when needed. And I really think that is so important. My researcher Briana added some things that she personally does for the New Year's that I think are fun to share. She says that she personally likes to think of what she wants more and less of and tries to base it off feelings and experiences. And gives the example of saying like she really liked one particular workout class or like enjoyed more time outdoors on hikes rather than the gym. Then she can schedule at least one hike per week per month to increase that experience in the new year. Or just generally setting a goal to go on at least 5 hikes a month. She also said that for the past 3 years, she's been keeping a bingo card for things that she likes to do during the year, including bigger and smaller goals, just to really bring in that whimsy in life. Things like having read X amount of books, watching a sunrise, doing a solo day trip, getting scammed and mauled by the unemployed reseller man at the Goodwill bins. Girl, are you okay? The whole point of that is to have small moments that if we don't plan, we might just overlook completely. And while big goals are also important to add, it's also nice to let you have some smaller, easier wins that you might not do otherwise. I think January is also the perfect time to look back and be grateful and let go of things from this past year. Like, what are we grateful for in 2025 that we wouldn't mind shifting out for 2026? The lessons learned, if you will. Like, what experiences and moments are most memorable, and how can we aim to experience something just like that again? What about that specifically brought you joy? You can name a bigger goal you'd like to get to and focus on what smaller actions can help get you there. Like, there are so many great videos on this, or you can even do yourself one better and like ask your friends and community how they like setting themselves up mentally for success success in the new year. And again, I beg for the third time, please leave some of your favorite ways that you like to bring in the new year in the comments, because not only am I interested, I also think that other people will find value in it as well. Now let's switch gears and talk about how like New Year's is literally fake and you can start and change your life at any time. Like I say this all the time, but like the day gotta end and so does the year. Time is literally just a concept and you can really start change or start to change whenever you like. These whole time scare tactics seem to be an important part of the New Year's hurrah and hoopla, but like it really does not matter if you start on the first, if your dedication, devotion, and commitment to that habit stays the same. Like side note, but some people love to use the word discipline, but like I don't really know how I feel about it because the way that y'all use discipline sometimes kind of sounds like a punishment. And like, why would I see growth in a habit that I see as punishment? There's like some girl on TikTok that has altered people's brain chemistry when she said to start changing discipline to devotion.
If discipline isn't working for you, then you should probably try out devotion, because maybe your nervous system and your body even associates the term discipline with some type of punishment or something bad happening to you, especially if you had a lot of trauma whenever you were a child and your parents or caregivers made you feel like an idiot or stupid or bad or a brat whenever you made a mistake, or they did in fact punish you. And you might even actually find yourself going after goals or having these ambitions or whatever in your life that you can't stay consistent to, because maybe you're going after goals and things that aren't even authentic to you. You're only doing them because you also feel like you're going to get punished, abused, abandoned if you don't do these things that other people are telling you to do, because that's what's been happening your whole life. Anyway, once you understand the goals that you actually want to go after or the things that you want to be more consistent or disciplined in, and get curious about all the ways that you have failed at going after that goal in a way that is not shameful but informative.
Like ultimately you want to add, change, or leave a habit behind as an act of devotion to yourself. And I understand some people like markers of time when it comes to beginning or ending something. Like starting something at the top of the hour or half hour as opposed to like at, I don't know, like 10:27. But I really wouldn't stress or keep the looming feeling that you gotta abide by the calendar to enact your goals, or that you should give up in general if you didn't keep it up in January, aka hibernation season. Like don't mind me for getting a little spiritual or a little woo-woo on it, but like over here we are big believers in following nature's patterns. And something that I saw that's more common in indigenous practices and spiritual beliefs is that the new year is during the spring equinox, which actually makes a lot more sense. A calendar year that starts the same for everyone is a marker of colonialism. Sorry. Like love this take from this creator about how time is meant to be local and not globalized, but it was globalized for the sake of capitalism.
The concept of a global New Year's is the ultimate form of colonialism. There has never been another time in human history where we have collectively shared a calendar. And that is because historically speaking, calendars have always been determined bioregionally based off of ecological and celestial framing, right?
But I digress. Don't let these time restrictions make you think that you're lazy. Like even if you didn't start on your goals or intentions yet, like people need rest too, my friends. The holidays are wild. It is a misconception that the holidays are relaxing and restful, because when you're around family and doing the most or doing the least and recovering from the year or working through the holidays, that can be anything but. We can all be called to action and grow when things are literally growing in the spring. And while humans aren't hibernators by trade, it does not mean that we don't need rest in a period of nothingness. Like it's completely normal to not feel fully invigorated at the beginning of the year. And if you do, good for you. Like I really think in some aspect by beginning our year in the winter, we are setting ourselves up for failure. And when you fail or don't succeed, capitalism is winning. And I'm gonna leave that at that. Like just to wrap up, I wanna reiterate that I am not a cop. I am not the police. Quite literally do whatever feels true and good to you. But I do think we should pay just a little bit more closer attention to our trends and what they are bringing out of us. If you want to focus on the evolution of the self, that can happen at any time of the year with the right mindset. But do not forget all of the phases of you that got you here in the first place. Like, please remember y'all, rebranding is for companies. Feeling bad about yourself for not rebranding or being behind in the new year is a byproduct and only serves capitalism, and time itself is a concept. All right, you got that? Peace.